You look good.
Thank you.
Hey! See the guy taking my little girl out, huh?
Yep.
Huh. You know what? Why don't you go ahead and take my new car?
Thanks, Pops.
Go ahead, baby.
Back in 1986, Hyundai introduced their first car for the US and Canadian markets, the subcompact Excel and Pony. Rivaling the Yugo as the cheapest and lowest quality car for sale in the US, it would take over a decade and an industry-leading 10-year, 100,000-mile warranty before Hyundai and its recently acquired partner Kia would consider selling a luxury car here as well. Early attempts like the XG300, Equus, and Amante tried to offer Mercedes-like luxury for those who couldn't afford established luxury brand names. But Hyundai struggled to be taken seriously in a crowded luxury car market. And yet today, they now offer luxury cars that no one ever expected 3 decades ago. This is the story of Hyundai's early struggles to sell luxury cars in the US. This is My Old Car.
You left me with the wrong daddy! Back so soon?
Here you go, sir.
Because a dad's got to do what a dad's got to do.
Honey, what'd you guys do tonight?
In the early 2000s, before the crossover and SUV craze had fully taken over the US car market, there were several large luxury sedans to choose from.
Yeah. Hello, Mr. Greer. I've got other customers waiting to test drive the DeVille.
Yeah.
Is he leaving already?
Work. Never ends.
And although Detroit's big three automakers once dominated the segment, by the 2000s they were seriously losing ground to European and Japanese rivals. This was back in the day when made in the US, when referring to cars, was often considered more of a liability than an advantage, thanks to all the quality issues American brands were far too well known for. This was a significant contributor to the rise of Japanese luxury cars in the 1990s, and was especially troubling to long-established luxury makes like Cadillac and Lincoln, which were losing ground to Acura, Lexus, and Infiniti. Although not everyone back then knew that a Lexus was built by Toyota, even if they did, the quality aspect likely swayed many to consider buying a Japanese luxury car. But what if that luxury car was Korean? Well, that's a different story. The fact that South Korea even has successful automotive brands in their home country is an impressive feat, considering the short distance their factories are to their northern autocrat neighbor. By the mid-80s, General Motors partnered with Daewoo, with their first collaboration being the highly criticized and despised Pontiac Le Mans. And later Daewoo would sell cars under the Chevrolet brand, like the Aveo, Sonic, and Spark. These were all about as far from luxury cars as you could get, but managed to sell well thanks to being sold as a Chevrolet.
Still driving that Hyundai, huh, big guy?
Yep.
Did you notice the machine I bought?
No.
But before 1986, no Korean automaker had tried to sell cars in North America under their original brand name.
Where is it? Oh, it's in the shop right now.
That is, not until Hyundai first imported the Excel to the US and the Pony to Canada.
We'll be heading downtown, huh, big guy?
You may ask why there were different cars sold in each country. Hyundai offered a different model between US and Canada, since the Pony did not meet stricter US emission standards.
No wonder the Pony Ride is an all-time, all-round family favorite. From Hyundai, cars that make sense.
Any day now, Hyundai is going to sell its 1 millionth car in less than 5 years.
Did you know it took Toyota 15 years to do that?
Both the Excel and Pony were initially decent sellers, due almost entirely to their low price, as they were the second cheapest car on the market, just behind the Yugo. But the Hyundai dealer network was scarce in those early days, making it a challenge to get their cars serviced. And after only being on the road a few short years, the need for service grew considerably, thanks to their poor quality and reliability.
You ever worked on one of them?
No. You?
No.
Hyundai struggled with decreasing sales, even after the addition of the midsize Sonata to their lineup in 1990. Sales only started to improve after Hyundai introduced what they called America's Best Warranty in 1998, which offered 10 years or 100,000 miles on the engine and transmission, or 5 years or 60,000 miles on nearly everything else in the car.
Hyundai.
Yes, Hyundai.
It was also in 1998 that Hyundai purchased a 51% share of Kia, helping to stave off Kia's bankruptcy. Although both Kia and Hyundai initially only sold their inexpensive models in North America, that didn't mean they only had those same types of cars in their home market of South Korea. Hyundai also sold luxury cars locally, but with some help from then-partner Mitsubishi. During the same time that Mitsubishi partnered with Chrysler to establish a foothold in the U.S. market, Mitsubishi partnered with Hyundai to sell the Grandeur, starting in 1986, which was not much more than a rebadged Mitsubishi Debonair. The names of both these cars were clearly intended to evoke a luxury theme, and competed with the Daewoo Imperial, which itself wasn't even Korean, but instead was built by German automaker Opel. Mitsubishi also provided the starting point for the full-size Hyundai Equus, slotted above the mid-size Grandeur, and intended to be a competitor to the BMW 7 Series. I'll talk more about the Equus later, as it would eventually make it to the US as well. By the time the Grandeur reached its third generation in 1998, it was officially known as the Grandeur XG, with the XG being its internal development code. This third generation was no longer a rebadged Mitsubishi, and instead it was entirely a Hyundai design. It was also the first model that Hyundai offered a version for partner Kia, calling it the Opirus.
Well, Doctor, I just bought this new car. It's loaded. V6, leather.
Both models were designed from the start to allow exports to other countries, one of which was the United States.
And you're having feelings of guilt.
Nah. Actually, I feel great.
So why are you telling me?
Well, I'm telling everybody.
Sold as the Hyundai XG300 and the Kia Amante in the US, beginning in 2001. They debuted with a 3-liter V6 engine, but were bumped up to a 3.5-liter V6 the following year, which also changed the Hyundai's name to the XG350. The styling for both cars was clearly intended to mimic European cars, with the XG350 resembling Mercedes and the Amante resembling Jaguar, and yet they were just different enough to make one not really know what they were, as neither Hyundai or Kia, as a brand, had any distinct styling cues to identify them. Notably absent on both cars was any badging in the front grille, a strategic omission. By 2002, Hyundai managed to reach a record 375,000 worldwide sales, over 8% more than the previous year. But non-luxury models like the Elantra, Tiburon, and Santa Fe got most of the attention.
Just call us toll-free at 1-800-209-2886. Huge selection, huge savings at Fusillo Hyundai.
Although the original name of XG350 was probably originally considered to mimic other luxury makes with their alphanumeric names, no other Hyundai model sold in North America had a similar name, and as a result, the XG name didn't resonate with buyers. So when the 4th generation Grandeur debuted in South Korea for 2005, now based on the lower-priced Sonata, Hyundai decided to rename the XG350 to Azera. Its V6 was now up to 3.8 liters and 265 horsepower, decent power for the time. It also had its share of luxury features, not just the expected heated leather seats, but options like a 6 CD changer, a power sunshade on the rear window, and even rain-sensing wipers, a relatively rare option for any car back then. This time around, the front grille had a Hyundai badge, but the car as a whole didn't look much different than the Sonata it was based on. Sales dropped enough in Canada that the Azera was discontinued there in 2010. The Azera name had a unique footnote in automotive history, in that Hyundai once sued a new EV maker called Avera in 2010, just because their name sounded too close to Azera. Hyundai won that lawsuit, which forced the former Avera to have a new name, Rivian, maker of EV pickups, SUVs, and Amazon delivery vans. Hyundai offered another version of the Azera for Kia, called the Cadenza. This was a surprising move, at least to me at the time, as Kia was generally considered the value brand, not a luxury brand. Not surprisingly, it was a slow seller, and it's not a surprise if you've never seen one on the road.
Presenting Kia's premium sedan, the Cadenza. Impossible to ignore.
Kia already offered its Optima sedan, which was its more mainstream option, competing with cars like the Toyota Camry and Honda Accord, but for obvious reasons didn't come anywhere close to any serious competition. But although offering a more luxurious sedan like the Cadenza didn't make sense, it wouldn't be Kia's last attempt at luxury. That next one is coming up as well. Both the XG350 and its successor, the Azera, stayed with the luxury theme, but what Hyundai didn't have was any models that offered both luxury and performance. This was another area in which the original image of Hyundai in North America would have been a big stretch to take seriously, since their first cars sold here were focused on economy, not speed. Hyundai did attempt a sporty car early on with the Scoop, based on the subcompact Excel.
There's only one word for it.
Scrap.
And then later offered the Tiburon, a sporty coupe that offered relatively inexpensive performance. But Hyundai's goal was to offer a rival to the BMW 5 Series in size, but at a 3 Series price.
I told you she had a boyfriend.
The Hyundai Genesis sedan arrived in the US and Canada for the 2009 model year, and shared some of its architecture with the Equus, a full-size sedan that I will be discussing later.
Win one little award, and suddenly everyone gets your name right. It's Hyundai, like Sunday.
Hyundai also managed to shorten the platform to also offer a coupe version of the Genesis for 2010, which Hyundai promoted as the most affordable 300 horsepower sport coupe on the planet. Meant to compete with the likes of the Infiniti G37 coupe, it was another daring move considering Hyundai's economy car roots, and also daring considering sport coupe sales among all automakers were on the decline. While the Azera remained on sale in the US, the Grandeur also carried on in South Korea, but in its home country, The Grandeur was no longer the most luxurious Hyundai model available. There you could also get the Equus, a longer rear-wheel drive executive sedan. By 2011, Hyundai decided to export the Equus to the US, where it became their most expensive model to sell in the US. Not surprisingly, the styling still looked a lot like a Mercedes S-Class. But the fact that Hyundai was even willing to try this was a sign that they were more assured they could sell luxury cars here, although sales were still well below their more established Sonata and Elantra sedans. Over at Kia, which was still selling the Azera-based Cadenza, they offered another sedan in 2013 that was another step up in luxury, based on the Equus, called the K9. Well, to be specific, that name consisting of the letter K, followed by the number 9, was used in non-English speaking countries. When sold in the US and Canada,
let me tell you why you're here.
The name changed to K900.
It is the world of luxury that has been pulled over your eyes to blind you from the truth.
We just want to get our car.
Take the blue key, you go back to the luxury you know. You take the red key, and you'll never look at luxury the same again. 900
didn't mean anything different than 9. It only changed names to avoid confusion with the word canine, as in C-A-N-I-N-E. The letter K and number 9 are often seen on police vehicles, where their service dogs ride along, so having the same designation on Kia's most luxurious car could have been a problem. Unfortunately, like the XG350 that came before it, this alphanumeric designation meant absolutely nothing to US and Canadian buyers, making it one of the slowest selling sedans Kia would ever sell here. Amazingly, Kia kept it in their lineup until 2018, and even more surprising, at least to me, was Kia's recent decision to bring back these K number designations on new sedans, like the K5 that replaced the midsize Optima, and the K4 that replaced the compact Forte. Meanwhile, the last premium model Kia sold, the Stinger, a car which I currently own myself, was cancelled in 2023. Its poor sales led to having no successor, which I think is due to poor marketing and, for some reason, the public's apparent dislike for four-door hatchbacks. Personally, that last fact is the reason I have a Stinger, and it's pretty fast too. Meanwhile, in the mid-2010s, Hyundai was making plans to finally reach a milestone that Toyota, Honda, and Nissan achieved over 2 decades earlier, offering a separate brand for luxury vehicles. The Equus wound down in 2016, as did the Genesis sedan and coupe. This is when Hyundai made the decision to repurpose the Genesis name to become their new luxury division. The existing Hyundai Genesis would become the Genesis G80 in 2016, and new sedans called the G70 and G90 would soon join the lineup. Similar to what Cadillac was doing with their alphanumeric designations at the time, the number in the name designated the car's position in the lineup. The Genesis brand would initially only sell sedans, a mistake when you consider the best-selling vehicles across all auto brands were crossovers and SUVs. But they soon remedied that with the GV60, GV70, and GV80. A new EV, the GV90, is coming soon. Sales-wise, they still fall behind Japanese rivals. But from a quality standpoint, it's hard to believe it's the same company that once sold the Excel.
At Hyundai, we figured it was simpler not to charge you a whole lot of money in the first place. Hyundai, cars that make sense.
Thanks for watching.
Hey, Johnny, how are you? Wicked car. Is that new?
Yeah, it's a Sonata. Let me pack it.
Oh, you're not fitting your car in there.
If you like this video, click the like button and subscribe to my channel.
Look who's got Smart Pack.
Smart Pack?
Just hit the clicker. Car packs itself.
If you once owned a car from the 70s to mid-2000s that you rarely see today and would like it featured in a future episode, leave a reply in the comments or contact me at the email shown here. See you next time.
I packed it and then unpacked it.
You unpacked it?
Kid.
Game changer.
That Sonata ain't got no driver.
That's all right. He's got Smart Pack.
Hey, look at him back there.
He's got Smart Pack.
Hey, whoa, it's Big Poppy. Wicked smart.
This is a ghost car.